Hello everyone, this is Nancy. Welcome you all again. This is our third lecture of Barriers of Communication. Before going to lecture, let me introduce myself. My name is Nancy Mittal. I have done my MCOM and MBA, and at present I am giving coaching to UGC NET aspirants and commerce students. Before going to lecture, let me tell you something. If you are targeting for UGC NET June exam 2020, then you can contact us. Number is given. You can call or WhatsApp us for any kind of study material or online classes for these subjects shown on your screen: commerce, management, economics, education, HRM. For special offer, you can contact us. Okay, let's move on to the topic. In previous lectures of barriers of communication, we have studied different levels and different barriers of communication. In this lecture, I am providing you the methods of overcoming the barriers of communication. This is very important, friends. How to overcome barriers of communication. As we all know, barriers are present in every communication process and they make our process weak and they stop to make it effective, right? So it is important to overcome them. So in this lecture we are going to study the methods. Okay, overcoming barriers to effective communication, because the barriers are those parameters who limits the ease of communication process and they limits communication and stops them to make it effective. Okay, so there are various methods and we will study them step by step. First one is clarity. Clarity means, friends, clarity of thought, clarity of message, you can say. The person sending the communication message should be very clear in his mind about what he wants to say, what he wants to send, about what thought he have in his mind. Firstly, he should be very clear in his mind what he or she wants to say, wants to send. Okay, he should know the objective of his message and therefore he should arrange his thoughts in a proper order according to the receiver. Okay, this is very important, that he must clarify ideas before communication. He should do proper planning for it. Okay, friends. Next one is communicate according to the need. This stands for the sender must be clear that what the level of receiver. He must communicate according to the need and wants of the receiver. The sender of the communication message should prepare the structure of the message not according to his own level or ability, but he should keep in mind the understanding level or the environment of the receiver so that he can communicate according to the ease and comfortability of the receiver. Okay, friends, because 90% of the leadership is the ability to communicate something people want. Therefore, they will entrust it in your message. Otherwise, they will not take any interest in your message. So, this is very important that you will communicate according to their preferences, their need, and their wants. Their means receiver. Okay, I hope you are understanding. The sender may also consult others. He can do proper planning. He can take advices from other people for this, right? He or she can do research for this also. Okay. Third one is avoid jargons. What do you mean by jargons? Jargons are some kind of technical words, and we should not use them in our communication process, because everyone may not be aware of the jargons. Okay, so we should not use special kind of words. Here are some examples of business jargons. Take a look, friends. Bang for the buck, which means a term that means to get the most for your money. Next one is due diligence, which means putting effort into research before making a business decision. Sweat equity, getting a stake in the business instead of pay. The 9 to 5, that's very much familiar business jargon, meaning a standard work day. Chief cook and bottle washer, a person who holds many responsibilities. These are some kind of jargons and business jargons which are used in business, but we should avoid using these jargons in our other activities, in a daily routine life, or persons not having any business experiences, right? Next one is remain aware of cultural differences. Friends, as you know, there are many cultural differences in a single office or workplace. There are people having different cultures, having different backgrounds, different accents, different languages, different journal behaviors, and they belongs to different religion also. These are some of the cultural barriers we have discussed before. Okay, make sure to research cultural differences and other cultural barriers that might stand in your way. For example, in Spanish, conversation is generally supported with eye contact and hand gestures. Okay, don't forget to research domestic cultural groups as well. Okay, friends, right? Next one is control over emotions. Friends, have you heard about the famous and popular quote like, don't let your emotions distract you from doing what needs to be done? Control your emotions, or your emotions will control you, right? So, in business or in any organization, in your workplace, actually, don't let your emotions will control you. Do control your emotions, friends. Otherwise, you can do nothing. Okay, the feelings must be hide in workplace. You can't show everyone your feelings, right? Because it becomes a barrier in your communication process. You will not able to communicate effectively if you show your emotions easily, right? So you must, and you know how to control your emotions. Next one is body language and tone. Yes, friends, body language speaks. As you can see in the chart, body language speaks 55% of your communication. डॉक्टर एल्बर्ट मेहराबियंस रूल है ये 738-55% elements of personal communication, which says that 7% of spoken words and 38% of your communication process depends on your voice tone, and the most of you, that means 55% of your communication depends on your body language. So you must stand, sit, behave, act accordingly. You must restrict your body language because it speaks itself. Okay, the sender should take care of the fact that the message should be framed in clear and beautiful language, plus the tone of the message should not injure the feelings of the receiver. As far as possible, the contents of the message should be brief, and excessive use of some technical words should be avoided. Okay, this is all about language, voice tone, plus body language. You must work on three. These are very important. Very, very important, friends. Okay, next one is proper medium. A sender must choose proper medium to communicate. From medium, here we mean proper source. Okay, he or she must use a suitable medium to communicate, which is suitable for him and for receiver also. Okay, because it is a very important part of the whole communication process. Ensure feedback. It is also very important, friends. The sender must wait for the feedback which will come from the receiver. The purpose of feedback is to find out whether the receiver has properly understood the meaning of the information received. In the face to face communication, the reaction on the face of the receiver can be understood. But in case of written communication or some other sort of communications, some proper method of feedback should be adopted by the sender, because it is very necessary to know whether the receiver understands the meaning of the information properly or not. He understands the meaning, the information in the way the sender wants to tell him or not. It is very important, friends. So ensure that we get proper feedback from the receiver. Okay, next one, be a good listener. Yes, it is must, friends. The sender must know the ability of listening also. He must be a good listener also, friends. He must show a decency, and he must listen to the receiver, his questions, his doubts. He must listen it carefully and calmly, and accordingly answer them. Okay, it is the essence of the communication that both the sender and the receiver should be good listeners. Both should listen to the each other's point of view with attention, patience, and positive attitude. It is must, friend. A sender can receive much relevant information by being a good listener. As I told you before, he must show a positive side of him while listening to the receiver. Okay, friends, are you understanding? So here are some of the ways, some of the measures to overcome the barriers of communication. So friends, we have covered 3 lectures of barriers of communication. In first 2 lectures, you studied about the barriers of communication, and in third lecture, in this lecture we covered the measures to overcome the barriers of communication. If you have any doubt, you can comment. Okay friends, I hope this will be very useful for you. Okay, for any query you can comment. Okay friends, thank you. Stay at home, stay safe.